And welcome into this edition of ACAP Today for the latter half of October 2023. I'm Jason Parent with the Aroostook County Action Program. On this special edition of ACAP Today, we're going to present to you our recent community information session that several people from across Aroostook County, whether it be municipalities, partner social service agencies, faith-based organizations, attended, that we hosted going over a number of our programs here at ACAP. Now, this by no means is a comprehensive assessment of all of the programs that are available through the Aroostook County Action Program, but it is a listing of programs and a talk about programs that are available to customers, especially as we head into a new heating season. So you'll hear about some of our energy programs, some of our housing programs, and programs for families with young children. That's this week's special edition of ACAP Today, and rather than present you a news segment, we go over a number of those programs in this community information forum. So we're going to let that speak for itself. But before we head to that, since we are not going to come back at the end with our snapshot for this, the later half of the month of October, we're going to share with you at this point our snapshot for the later half of October, our highlight snapshot. And our highlight snapshot this time around goes to our early care and education team. Here you see members of ACAP's early care and education team taking part in a 3 intensive day strategic planning session that was hosted by the Regional Office of Head Start. That's the New England Region Office of Head Start. They were working on planning ACAP's next 5-year program cycle grant as it relates to Head Start program and early Head Start program here in Aroostook County. We thank the members of our early care and education team for going through this intensive strategic planning process. We'll certainly hear more about that in the months and years ahead. And we also thank the visitors from the Regional Head Start office for their support on their help to guide us through this strategic planning process. So now we take you to the program for this week, which is ACAP's Community Information Session. Please enjoy. And good afternoon, everyone, and welcome in. My name is Jason Parent, and I'm the Executive Director, CEO here at Aroostook County Action Program. We're pleased to have all of you joining us today, a number of our staff members, as well as community partners, representatives of local municipalities, faith-based groups, and others. Just as a quick introduction to this session, we started sessions like this a number of years ago, regionally and in person before the pandemic in different parts of Aroostook County, specifically gearing these conversations to our partners with municipalities who do things like general assistance, and our faith-based partners and other nonprofit organizations who work alongside us in many areas, such as assisting folks who are in need of fuel or other services, and connecting them with our services or directly assisting them themselves, to provide them with an update on key programs and services that we provide to individuals throughout Aroostook County to help them be more socially and economically secure. So we have a number of folks who are going to present today on a number of key topics of interest that folks regularly turn to us for services. We have over 40 programs and services here at the agency, so this is by no means an exhaustive overview of the services that we offer, but rather a point in time look at some of the key services that we provide to individuals, again, to help them be more economically secure as we head specifically into the winter months. So as you can imagine, we'll talk about heating assistance and utility assistance quite extensively in just a moment. But before we get to that, I've invited our Chief Operating Officer, Jamie Chandler, to share with you briefly as it pertains to how we're working with customers who turn to us for services this year to be able to work with them in a more comprehensive way. So they may call us for one service in particular, but as Jamie will explain to you, we are able to work with them in a multitude of different areas to ensure that we are helping them in every way possible. So Jamie, I'm going to turn it over to you to talk about our new comprehensive intake model for this particular season and where it's headed moving forward. Thanks, Jamie.
Thank you, Jason. So yes, we are really excited about the pilot that we have implemented for this particular season. Essentially, what we were looking to do is we had noticed that we had a number of customers who may have been eligible for particular programs based upon their income or their family situation, but were not connected to those services, but may have been connected to another ACAP service. And so as a result, we wanted to ensure that families had the information about any program that they may be eligible for and the ability to access those programs. And so essentially what we have done with our comprehensive intake process is it starts before our customers actually come into the door. It starts with the scheduling. We have done a data analysis of our customer demographic information and cross-referenced enrollments with other programs that they may be eligible for. And we have either done some creative scheduling in making sure that our customers are not needing to come to us if they're seeking services from multiple programs. We're trying to get those services available on the same day so that they only need to make one trip to our office instead of multiple trips to our office. And for those who are not currently connected with our other programs, we are making the arrangements for them to be connected with program staff in order to assess if they could be enrolled in other programs beyond the program that they are currently working with us on. And so essentially what we are doing is we are doing a targeted comprehensive intake process with our families that are of working age. And for the families that have young children, we are cross-referencing our heating assistance customers database against our WIC family database, and ensuring that any family that may be eligible for one program or the other, we're making those connections for those families to be connected. And in addition, for those families that are interested in seeking our workforce services, or our coaching services, we are making those connections as well, so that in one appointment, our customers could have access to a multitude of programs instead of just coming in for to meet with our program staff in one area. So essentially what that looks like for customers, or for those of you who are community members who work with customers, when they come to our building or speak with one of our representatives on the phone, we are doing some initial data entry into our Empower data system. And so essentially we're just ensuring that the demographic information that we have on file is up to date, much like when you go to your medical office and you check in with the registration desk. They ensure that your name, address, telephone number, all of those key pieces of information are up to date in the system. And they are also collecting any information that needs to be supporting information that you may need for your appointment, such as income information, other household information, scanning it into the system so the staff have access to it at the time of your appointment. For our individuals that do seek services beyond the service that they're coming in for, we are actually doing a warm handoff where we are having an appointment at the same time or shortly after their scheduled appointment with a navigator. And our navigator is an expert in a number of services that either we as an agency provide or that our community partners are providing. And so they are collecting information about the family and helping to get them connected to other services that may be helpful for them to help them to achieve their goals. So the navigator is really, making sure that we're getting those connections. So then, depending upon which programs they may need to connect with, we are making appointments, in most cases, same day connections. And in some cases, or as the customer prefers, we may make a scheduled appointment for them to come back on a different day to meet with program specific staff as needed. and then they would be eligible for program certification to determine actual eligibility, and then they would receive their program services. So that is our current process now. As I said, we're kind of targeting a certain age bracket at this point, and certain demographic of our customers. We are going to be in the next program year expanding that out. We have a team of comprehensive intake assessment team that is currently working on what that process will look like in the coming year. But we are looking to expand that beyond that initial demographic so that we'll be able to provide that service or similar services to every customer that comes through the ACAP doors.
Thank you so much, Jamie. Jamie noted in her presentation the role of the navigator, and we have one of our navigators who's joining us now to talk briefly about the work that they do and how they are connecting customers who come in the door. Some who know what services they may be looking for, but just don't know what the resources are, and others who come through the doors of our agency not sure what they might actually be in need of and what services are available. So Tony No, thank you so much for helping us to better understand navigation.
Thank you, Jason. With our ACAP roadmap, there isn't a roadmap to life, but ACAP can help with directions. Think of navigation as a GPS service that helps to guide clients into one of the numerous programs we have that can offer help and assistance. This includes outside programs as well. Navigators listen and discuss what options might suit the client and the client's family's needs, as we've helped already over thousands of people here in the county. Some of the areas we cover are employment, housing, food and wellness, connecting to resources, early care, and education. We also have a couple of new programs, the Power Match program and the Affordable Connectivity program, which I'll talk about a little bit later in a different section. But that's basically what a navigator does. We're a GPS, we take the client and we get them as many services as they're eligible for that will assist them to bring them up out of the level they're in or the trouble they're in at the moment and help them on a path to a better life.
Great. Thank you so much, Tony. And again, folks, if you do have questions as some of our presenters are speaking, please do feel free to type them into the chat and I will try to direct them as the individual is speaking. And again, we will have an open question and answer period at the end if you prefer to unmute then and to ask your question to our panelists in person. We're going to move from navigation now over to our basket of energy and how that functions into some of our housing programs as well. So I'm going to invite in as our next speakers, both Josh and Becky from our energy and housing programs, who are going to speak about a wide array of heating assistance and other programs that come from heating assistance. So Josh and Becky.
Yes, thank you. So we should have a comparison slide here for the last heating season, our 2022-23 heating season, and then our expected benefit amounts for the 2023-24 season, which is the one we're taking applications for right now. As you can see, last year, for just the HEAP benefit, the average benefit per household was $1,060. And this year, Maine Housing is expecting the average benefit to go down to about $500, a little over that. For the emergency crisis, the benefit has not changed. It's up to $800 to help someone in an emergency situation where they have below a quarter tank of fuel or less than 2 weeks of fuel. But the supplemental payment, something we had last year that was passed, it was a one-time thing, gave an additional benefit equal to that average home energy assistance program benefit of $1,060. This year, we do not expect to have that. So that will be a big loss. And additionally, through LD3, we had the work payment. So both the supplemental payment and work were brought through with the LD3 funds. So there was $800 that were available for fuel last year that will not be benefit this year. So you're seeing a big difference between those two sets of numbers, and we've just got to prepare for a heating season where, you know, this is a supplemental program and it will only be able to supplementally help people, but it won't be able to cover everyone's energy burden like it has over the last 2 years.
Thanks, Josh. I'm going to talk a little bit about the HEAP program now. We do have another slide up there, and on this slide, it shows the 2023-24 income threshold that each household can make, depending on the number of people in their household. So that is up a little bit from last year, approximately $150 per level. That's up. So if you just barely did not qualify last year, please try again, because with this going up a little bit, you just may qualify. We started taking applications on July 17th, and we have been taking them every day since, certifying them. We're less than 10 days behind on them, I think. So with the benefits, some benefits will come out in late October, and the rest will come out in early to mid-November. And then people can access that at their fuel companies. As Josh said previously, the benefits will average about $500 this year, and that is a big leap from last year. So we're going to have to try to conserve as much as we can. Also, please call. If you're not feeling well, please call us and we can change your appointment to a phone appointment and do it right at the same time. And then you won't have to reschedule and get pushed back to January or February. So just let us know that you may not be feeling, well, and we'll do that right over the phone if you're able. I also wanted to talk about our emergency energy, our ACAP fund. And that starts on November 1st. So if you need fuel and you haven't, your benefit has not come, call us on November 1st and we'll start to provide those ACAP funds. Anybody who is certified for HEAP will get a benefit of $800, and it's a one-time benefit. We have a new procedure this year, and that procedure will be, anybody who calls in for that benefit will be placed on a spreadsheet. If you do not have your documents in for us to finish certifying your file within 48 hours, we'll take your name off that and you'll have to start over. We do plan to do as many as possible each day. And all of our emergency calls will be checked first for HEAP, ACAP eligibility. And then if for some reason you're not eligible for those two funding sources, you may be eligible for a donation.
Yes, and the other thing that we wanted to mention is Maine Housing understands that Maine, especially up here, gets cold a little faster than November 1st. And much like last year, where around the 22nd of October, they upfronted $10 million of their own money to cover HEAP benefits. They will be doing that again this year. So some people will be getting their benefits as early as the 20th to the 25th of October.
Thank you very much, Josh and Becky. Josh, we're going to come back to you in just a minute, but first, Becky did mention as it related to fuel donations that we're very fortunate to be able to receive through multiple resources from our community, from our larger community here in the state of Maine, including Keep Me Warm dollars, but also very important local dollars that are raised right here in Aroostook County through our annual Helping Hands Telethon. And for that, we're bringing Sherry Locke into the conversation. Sherry.
Thank you, Jason. So as Becky mentioned, when federal funds, when you don't qualify for other assistance programs, we do have a fund very near and dear to our hearts that funds that are raised through the Helping Hands Telethon. This will be the 7th annual event. It's a partnership with ACAP, WAGM, and our friends at the United Way of Aroostook. And it allows us to raise local dollars to help folks who may be just over that threshold or who may need just a little bit of additional assistance. Last year, we were very fortunate. We raised a record high, just over $112,000. And that money allowed us to help those, again, who maybe didn't qualify, who maybe were missing one piece of documentation that they needed to have that file certified. Oregon was going through a medical crisis and for whatever reason was unable to receive other funding. So these funds come in literally $10, $20, $100 at a time, and when combined have a huge impact of helping over 100 local families. Those are households throughout Aroostook County, from Fort Kent all the way down to Holton, who again are in an emergency energy crisis. So the telethon this year will be held on November 16th. Letters have gone out to past donors to ask them to continue to support the event, but we will work hard to provide stories of folks who have been impacted by these dollars in the past, and also, to share some more of this information about other energy assistance available. But very important that this fund continue to meet the need, especially as Josh described, the federal funding available this year is being decreased drastically. We think that these local funds will be more important than ever. So if you are in a position to give, we would ask you to do so. Our partners at the United Way serve as the fiscal sponsor for this. They do all of the collection pieces of this. ACAP then distributes those funds, and WAGM helps us to tell that story, what that local story looks like, and the local folks that are served by this fund, so that we can make sure that everyone in our community home is warm. So again, that event is on Thursday, November 16th. Would encourage you as an individual, your faith-based organization, your business, to contribute in a way that is meaningful to you if you are in a position to do so.
Great. Thank you very much, Sherry. And as it relates to fuel assistance dollars, again, as a reminder, this is a point in time. The information that Josh and Becky in particular shared is certainly point in time. There are always changes that come as a result of circumstances, including global circumstances like the hostilities in the Middle East currently happening right now, which tend to drive up the price of oil, which may cause Congress to act and do things in terms of additional appropriation toward the home energy assistance program. But at this time, this is the information that we here at ACAP and our partners at Maine Housing have provided us with in terms of what it looks like. And again, to the point that Josh McAtee made earlier, as a reminder, the home energy assistance program is considered a supplemental program, not considered a program that is to replace the total season heating cost for a household, as it may have in recent years through the pandemic with additional dollars being allocated. So we are going to talk now and transition a little bit to how other areas in which the agency is helping people stay warm in their homes here in Aroostook County. Josh is going to pick up the conversation again for us as it relates to our weatherization assistance program. Oh, Josh, you're muted. Sorry.
Thank you, Jason. So the Weatherization Assistance Program is a wonderful program that proactively goes into people's homes and blows insulation, as well as tightens up other areas in the house. We do a blower door test that kind of lets us know how much leakage there is. And we do our best to kind of, limit that air leakage from the outside so that it makes your, heating costs go down by being better weatherized so you can more efficiently burn your fuel. So we've received funding through our DOE contract to be able to assist 37 homes through weatherization. The homes are selected in order of their WAP score on the list. So everyone who has a HEAP application is immediately put onto this list for weatherization. That doesn't indeed have a home. And that WAP score is decided by the income, number of elderly, and number of children in the home. It's rated from 0 to 20, 20 being the highest. And then we start with the people who are at 20 and work our way down that list. We've received additional funding from the bipartisan infrastructure law to do 222 more homes over the next 4 years. And we're very excited to get that underway as we just started with that funding. So there's lots of money to be able to weatherize lots of Aroostook County homes, and we look forward to doing that for the community.
And certainly, Josh, we want to put it out there that if folks do know or are aware of contractors who would be interested in engaging us with this work, we do have one crew that we employ ourselves, but certainly rely on contractors across Aroostook County to fulfill this work. And lastly, Josh, well, not lastly, one more thing after that, in your area of expertise, in your domain, we want to talk about the heat pump program, which has been one of very high demand, and one that also ACAP has done a pretty decent job of getting heat pumps into people's homes since they were first introduced as an opportunity just a few years ago.
Yes, and with heat pumps, like Jason said, we are right at the top of the ability to put these into homes. We've really worked fast and furious to get tons of these out as much as possible. Also, through the navigation mentioned earlier, we've developed quite the waiting list of people who would like to have it. So over 500 people currently on the waiting list. We've received funding this year to install another 95 units. We installed last year around 80 units. So, we're doing more this year, hopefully more next year, as we'll continue to look for more funds to be able to help putting those heat pumps in. People being added to the waiting list would have about a 4 to 5 year wait based on the funding we have right now. So there's lots of people who would like a heat pump, and we're going to get them out as fast as we can.
Great. Before we move on, Josh, we do have a question in the chat indicating that the application for HEAP has not been taking applications for the past few weeks. When do you anticipate it to reopen is the question.
I'm trying to understand the question. Is this for the online applications through the main housing website?
Ashley, go ahead and unmute if you would like.
It's actually on your ACAP site to be able to apply. It says, thank you for interest in Home Energy Assistance Program, commonly known as HEAP. Due to an unprecedented number of applications taken this year and the exhausted 2023 HEAP funding, we are unfortunately able to process your application.
All right, we will get that fixed. I think that is something from the end of last season, but we are currently taking applications, and we have since July 17th, but thank you for bringing that to my attention.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thanks, Ashley. Great catch there. All right, so Josh, we are going to transition now to the next subject, which is the Homeowner Assistance Fund. And I recognize that this program has been around for a bit, but it's nearing its end, but not quite there. So this is an opportunity still available to county residents.
Yes, so main housing has taken over this program and loosened up the guidelines a little bit, so it's actually able to be run properly. And so far we've exhausted about half of the funding that we had when we started up in February. So we still have probably about 20 to 25 weeks left of funding. So if you do have a need, you had a COVID hardship, you've owned your home since before 2020, and we can assist with back payments or things that you owe that are more than 30 days old, such as mortgage payments, homeowners insurance, property taxes, utilities, fuel accounts, broadband internet service. And right there you have the guidelines for eligibility based on household income. So if you have a 5-person household, you would need to make $116,100 per year or less to qualify for this program. And it definitely does a lot to help people in our area. And we're trying to spend as much of that funding for the county as possible, since that is a state pool.
Great. Thank you so much, Josh. We've been talking a lot about energy assistance and have been transitioning into homeowner general assistance there, which Josh just described. We're going to talk now, or Josh is going to talk now, about the low income assistance program. And unlike the home energy assistance program, Josh, this program just recently was in the media in the last couple of weeks, indicating that there would actually be additional eligibility for folks across the state of Maine. So why don't you lead us through that conversation?
Absolutely. So last year they tried a pilot program where there was previously only one way to get into this this electric benefit, which we call LIAP, and that was through the HEAP program, through qualifying for the HEAP program and having a household member in the home on the electric bill. So now DHHS also has opened up a partnership with the LIAP program, where they send out a letter, and through that letter you can call the vendor and sign up if you get a DHHS service. So that, because there is now that second way to get in, there has been additional funds provided. And last year, like I said, was the pilot year for that, and they re-upped that for this year, which is fantastic, because the more funding available, the better it is for all of us. So last year they ended up doing 2 benefits that added up to 600 for on the low side. So it's split up by poverty level. So if you make 75% or less of poverty, the poverty guideline for income, then you would get that top number. So for 2022, that was $665. So for this year, that will be going up to $700, but this is the first installment. So at the end of the year, if not everyone, replies to those letters, or not everyone qualifies as many people as they were expecting, the extra funds are then divided up among everyone who got a benefit at the beginning of the season and given out. So there was another credit. So there's like two $330 credits last year for people who made 75% or less of poverty. So that was great. So this year we're gonna have 700 on the first, and there could be easily, another $400 payment later on in the season. So that is a possibility that people making below 75% of poverty might receive upwards of $1,000 or $1,100 in electrical credit through this program.
Thank you, Josh. That is a bit of good news heading into the season as it relates to electric rates and folks struggling to pay those electric bills out there. So thank you for that, Josh. One of the programs that we have here that also helps individuals, especially individuals with large payments that are overdue to their electric bill, is called the Arrearage Management Program. And we're joined now by Hope Ladd, who is a coach here at ACAP, who is directly involved with the AMP program. Hope?
Hi. So the Arrearage Management Program is also well known as AMP. It is a one-time debt forgiveness program offered through participating electric utility providers. To be eligible, someone would have to be receiving HEAP and owe over $500 that is at least 90 days past due. I typically encourage people to use it as a last resort because it is only one time. And so I'd encourage trying to do a payment arrangement if it's affordable. Also, the way that it's set up, it helps to have to be able to pay your normal monthly bill. So if you are interested to apply, you can get an application through the utility company or participating utility company, or through ACAP. You can call us for an application, and it does need to be returned to us, to the HEAP department after it's filled out, so that HEAP can say that you do receive fuel assistance, and then it's sent to the light company. Once enrolled, you are expected to pay your normal monthly bill on time every month. If a payment is late up to 3 times, you are removed from the program. So you get a default, and then if you get 3 defaults, you are removed from the program. Every time you make a payment on time, a 12th of the past due amount is forgiven. It's up to $300 every month until that past due amount is gone. And I do offer monthly check-ins with anyone enrolled in AMP, and financial coaching as well for anyone interested. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, Hope. There is a question in the chat here. The question is, do I have to apply for the low income assistance program for electricity assistance if I've already applied for HEAP, or is it automatic? Josh? And you are muted.
So for LIAP, if you qualify, we have everyone fill out a LIAP application. So you will qualify. All we'll need is your previous month's electric bill to your application.
So you qualify, but you still need to send some kind of an application, obviously, Josh. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, there's a 1-page form, and you fill it out when you do your HEAP application. So we have everyone fill one out, and that way they can get that.
Great. Thank you so much for that clarification. I hope that answers your question, Roy. If not, feel free to come back in either the chat or in the Q&A at the end. All right, Tony No at the beginning of the presentation on navigation indicated he would be back to speak about a couple of other programs. Those two programs are Power Match, which is again an electric assistance program, and then the Affordable Connectivity Program, which is helping to connect folks here in Aroostook County with through the internet, through high-speed internet, as well as providing support for them to be able to do so. So, Tony, we're going to pass it back over to you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'll go through this really quickly, but anyone that needs any information can contact a navigator and we will talk you through it. There's no problem with that. First of all, we've got the power match through Versant, I'm sorry. That's up to a $500 donation on a disconnect notice. It's a donation we give once a year, and we've helped hundreds of clients so far to keep their power connected. There's been a change in that just recently. Clients 62 and older with outstanding bills and find themselves in a bind where they have to choose between food and electric need to contact us so we can help with that. We can help with those bills. Once again, one-time donation, but please make sure you contact us. The Affordable Connectivity Program, that's a countrywide program, but here in Maine, we're doing really well with it. It provides up to a $30 discount off your internet services. A simple online application with instant approval with a PIN number that you give to your provider, whether it be your cell phone company for your data or through your internet provider at home, your broadband. Most government benefits would mean an instant approval, otherwise approvals based on income. If anyone's interested in this, we can send them the flyer, but more importantly, you can come into ACAP, talk to myself, Anthony, or Candy, the other navigator, and we can actually help you do the application right away online. Takes roughly 6 minutes to get approved. So it's really well worth it to get that $30 a month. There's more money in your pocket to go towards food or anything else like that. So any questions on Power Match, any questions on ACP, please reach out to a navigator and we'll be able to help.
Great. We do have a question in the chat, and I guess it goes back to LIAP, the Low Income Assistance Program. It's from one of our own navigators. So I guess the navigator Candy is hearing that people are receiving credits on their electric bill right now and are wondering if this is from LIAP and are these going out already? Josh, would you be able to address that one?
Yes. So LIAP does start, they get the money on the 1st of October. So payments have started going out and will continue to go out as they're able to process them as at the electric company.
Great. Thank you so much, Josh. We are going to shift altogether now to some of the new things that ACAP is working on and adding in the community. To do that, we are going to turn first to a couple of members from our early care and education team. We're going to talk about some of the work that we're doing to increase early care and education opportunities in Aroostook County. So we're going to turn it over to Amy Murchison and Katie McQuaid.
Thank you, Jason. So for people who are familiar with our early care and education programs, we have primarily focused on birth to age 5 children. But with the need in the community, we have been able to partner with RSU 39 and Caribou to provide school-age childcare at the Caribou Community School. And that is taking place within the month where we'll get that up and running. The slide has how you can apply for that if people are interested. Applications are also on the website, and the person who does our enrollment, Marcy Driscoll, her direct line is listed at the bottom. So I'm going to go a little bit out of order. I'm going to talk about First for Me, the pilot project next. So this past year, we actually applied and were awarded the First for Me pilot grant. This grant focuses on ACAP providing supports to help children effectively transition from their current setting, whether it's a child care provider or a preschool, into public school, so that they're improving their school readiness skills. So part of that pilot grant is for us to provide those supports to childcare providers to improve quality within their programming. So that can look like professional development. It can help with supports around some of the state programs, Rising Stars, improve that quality. So that's the gist of First for Me. We have already actively started working on that, and we have a coordinator, Karen Page, in our Caribou area, who is in charge of that at this point. So to speak further about partnerships, we have partnered with Valley Unified School District, and that partnership focuses on providing comprehensive coaching services and Head Start services to those school districts. And again, it can look like professional development opportunities. We're partnering together to offer that to our staff and their staff, but to bring comprehensive services to some of the individuals in those communities within those school districts. And to go along with kind of the theme of what I've been talking about, we continue to talk with school districts and local child cares about partnership opportunities and how we can work together to meet the needs of the communities at this point.
Thank you, Katie.
Thanks.
Anything else on that topic? Great, and I'm not seeing any questions in the chat at this moment. So we're going to transition now to talking about some workforce development service enhancement that we've done here at the agency. And as Jamie indicated in her presentation at the beginning, as it relates to our new comprehensive intake process, over the past several years here at ACAP, we've adopted a whole family approach, which really looks at how we work with families across multiple domains. Two of those key domains are early care and education, which Katie just spoke about. But the other critical domain, sort of the bookend with that, is helping the parents of young children in early care and education programs, and also people across the lifespan here in Aroostook County under retirement age and even some of retirement age engage in the workforce. So we're going to turn it over to Nick Weeks, who oversees our team of coaches here at ACAP that work collaboratively on workforce development with others across the agency. Nick?
Hi, thank you. So coaching is kind of the other side of the coin with navigation, where they tend to handle single issues and help people out in that way. We tend to have a more structured long-term program that helps people totally in the goal of being in poverty. We want to get them out of poverty long-term and to a more stable place. That being said, we have a few programs in our workforce development coaching section that we think can really help the public as we work with them. So extended learning opportunities are what we offer to our youth up to 24 years old. And these are helping to get real world job experience. They're helping to get 40 hours of real world work. If we can find someone who's interested in the program that has a specific direction they want to go into, we can tailor that program to the interests that they have. Or if they're looking for generic job experience, we can give them that too. It's also paired with 20 hours of classroom experience, focusing on the issues that really prevent people from reaching their financial goals. They can include internships, community services, and work experiences. And the whole goal there is to get people prepared for the workforce as they get older. We've been doing a lot of outreach with our programs lately. We've been looking for local businesses. Not only that we can put people with experiences there, but also we can help local businesses kind of try employees out that don't have prior experience, where it's so hard to find a workforce now. What we call those as reverse referrals. So we can get businesses who are looking to hire. They might have someone in mind that doesn't have as much experience as they would like. We have several ways to assist that employer in kind of taking off some of the financial burden as they're training the person on the job experiences. Or if they're interested in partnering with us so that we can give someone the experience so they can move to another employer and apply with those weeks of experience that we provide there. We love to have employers come in and help us that way as well. We've been working with the Aroostook County Jail, providing some financial literacy, employment classes, working individually with people in the jail to lower the recidivism rate as they come back out into our community, and also help people set up for long-term success once they're out of up to 6 months is what they can spend in the county jail. So after that, we'll work with them to find housing and employment, education if they need it, to get them back into the workforce and back feeling like they have a better grasp in their local community of how to push forward after that. We also have some support services we can offer people who are going back to school or starting a new job. We can help with uniforms. There's money for dental care, for car repairs, all in the incentive of getting them back to work, getting them through school, getting them in their first couple of weeks before a paycheck is there. We can help with a lot of different things: childcare, travel, people starting in jobs in the restaurant industry, help with non-slip shoes. There's a lot of issues that people will need to invest to be able to start a new career, and those are the barriers we want to break down to help our local community get people back in the workforce.
Great. Thank you so much, Nick. And I'm not seeing any questions in the chat as well, so we're going to continue to move on. For a number of years, ACAP has been part of the Aroostook Cash Coalition, and we are not that far off, believe it or not, from tax preparation season for another year. Here at ACAP, Kim Garrett-Michaud is the person responsible for leading our efforts in the Aroostook Cash Coalition and engaging a team of volunteers that we're looking for across Aroostook County to help provide that experience for folks from northern to southern Aroostook. So Kim, I'm going to turn it over to you now to talk about the tax preparation program and Aroostook Cash Coalition.
Thank you, Jason. So this year we have partnered for several years, and this year we're actually taking the lead on this project along with our partner New Ventures of Maine. And right now, where we stand, we are looking for volunteers. We're in recruitment mode. We do serve about 1,000 individuals and households with free tax preparation, either just doing state of Maine or state and federal taxes. So we are building a workforce, I guess, of volunteers that will work from Fort Kent to Holton, and to be able to help people and take this burden. Doing your taxes is scary. When you think of dealing with the IRS, it's scary, and we're here to help make that a non-scary moment, make it easy. It also brings people into our service centers and gives them the opportunity to see what else we have available for them. They'll have a chance to speak with our navigators and our coaches and see what else is going on. We can check in with them and see what we can do.
Great, thank you so much, Kim. So again, if folks know of anyone who would be interested in helping, the tax season runs from beginning of February through the middle of April, but there will be some training in advance of that. So
November-ish training will start. Sorry, I forgot to mention that.
And of course, folks are volunteers, so we'll take as many or as few hours as you can donate and contribute to the cause. Aroostook County is one of the leads in terms of the volume of tax preparation, both the demand, but also the volume that have been able to be completed here in the county in recent years. So we want to continue to be able to provide that service robustly for folks across Aroostook County and closer to where they live, which is why we do it in Fort Kent, Presque Isle, and in Holton throughout the season. So the more volunteers that we can get, the more folks that we can serve. Thank you very much, Kim. We're going to transition now to the last topic we're going to talk about today, which is additional services that are coming online or have recently come online for expectant mothers, or in some cases for families with very young children. And to speak to that is Program Coordinator Rochelle Roy, who oversees our Women, Infant, and Children's oral health, nutrition programs, among others here at ACAP. Rochelle?
Thank you, Jason. So I'm here to talk about a new initiative that will be coming in early 2024, and it's our diaper distribution project. This is going to be a project that will help support families with diapers and diapering supplies. The reason behind this initiative is that it can be up to 8% of a family's income that goes towards funding these types of items for a family. And that's a huge financial burden. So our hopes is that this is going to help support families with the rising cost of food. This is, again, another support that can be put in place. Again, it's only going to be starting the beginning of the year. We don't have the exact date yet, but it's something that the family will come in. They'll have to register. They'll have to meet with a navigator, and it's a process. But then from there, it can help supplement their diapering needs for the month, each month. So definitely something that we're looking forward to. Lots of young families in the area that will be able to take advantage of this great program, and definitely something that whether it be our Head Start families, our WIC families, any of the ones in the area, please stay posted. We'll keep you posted on it, and continue to check back with us, because it'll be great things coming with that. The second initiative that we have, that we kind of did a soft launch early summer, and we've started to expand across the county, is our Vitamin Angels partnership. And what this is it's a partnership with the company Vitamin Angels, providing free prenatal vitamins across the county. So why is this important? Well, over 50% of pregnancies are unplanned. So our thoughts are, if we can get prenatal vitamins out free of charge to any woman in their childbearing years, that's a win-win. They're already on the prenatal vitamin. It's good for you. It's not going to harm you. And it leads to healthier pregnancies. So it's definitely something that's, a very big positive for our communities. Not to mention, it can be a hardship for families to try to get to a store to get these prenatal vitamins. These are something they can get by just coming in the door. So we're glad to help. Please reach out if you have not already, and we'd like to get that going for you.
Great. And now, Rochelle, you're going to talk about a program that we've had here at ACAP for more than a couple of decades. And that's the Women, Infant, and Children's Program, and eligibility guidelines pertaining to that, and how we're encouraging families to really consider this program, as it has higher eligibility guidelines than other programs.
Absolutely. With the WIC program's eligibility guidelines, we're at 185% poverty, which means a lot of working families qualify. And that's why it's just important. Just a reminder, the guidelines go up every year. We're here to help. So please don't hold back. Give us a call. If you think you're even, if you think you might be close to not qualifying, call us. We'd love to check with you over the phone, even to see if you do in fact qualify income wise. And that way we can go ahead and get things going for you. The rising cost of food, it's hitting everybody's pocket. So we want to make sure that we're there to support you. Also, any breastfeeding supports, we're there for you. So please let us know. Don't be afraid to reach out, and we'll help with whatever we can.
Great. And Rochelle, we do have a question here in the chat. It's related to the Vitamin Angels program. Do you know if Vitamin Angels will be able to mail vitamins to folks that qualify?
We are not mailing them. However, we're distributing them across the county. So if you're meeting with our ACAP, any of our ACAP offices, they will be at those locations. We're also partnering with some other local partners. For instance, we are in the Pines Women and Children's site doing WIC appointments, and we're partnering with them. We're going to be working with other partners across the county to be able to distribute them. So don't let the mailing just, hold you back from reaching out. Let us know, and we can get that figured out.
Great. Thank you for that. Rochelle, thank you for that response. That does bring a conclusion to the presentations this afternoon, we certainly do want to invite folks in that would like to unmute and ask any questions of any of the presenters. If you haven't had a chance to post those in the chat, or just we're waiting for the question and answer session. While folks are thinking about their questions and doing that, we want to remind folks, I think as Tony did and other presenters did, that please do connect with us if you're leaving this presentation and have some questions that you want to ask about specific programs or services, or want to help connect somebody with a navigator or other services that we offer here at the agency. You can certainly do that by phone, by calling our main line 764-3721, and that number does pick up across Aroostook County. We have team members in a pool, so that call sometimes is picked up in Madawaska, sometimes is picked up in Holton, and in Presque Isle as well. So folks can help you with that number. Give that number a call. info@acap-me.org is a good email if you're just asking a general question, and we'll direct that accordingly. And certainly checking out our website at acap-me.org. So again, we will now pause and see if there are any questions from folks in attendance. And please do feel free to unmute yourself. All right, well, hearing none at the moment, as a reminder for folks, if you know folks in your respective agencies or others across Aroostook County, this session, we will be repeating a live version of this session where folks will be able to ask any questions and interact with us live. That is going to be next Thursday. That session is going to be held again Thursday, October 19th at 9 a.m. We're going to do a morning 9 a.m. session next Thursday. In addition to that, the recording of this one or of that other session will be circulated through our weekly briefing, so folks will be able to connect in that briefing. Thank you, Lynn, one of our friends from our sister CAP agency in Penquist. Thank you for joining us today. Appreciate you being with us, and appreciate all of you being with us. And again, if we can answer any questions for you here, we would be happy to do that for you. And again, we will see you or others of you next Thursday, the 19th from 9 to 10:30, and then look forward to the week after that, a recording of one of these sessions sent along to the community. And we'll also post it on our Facebook page. So thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your week and great weekend ahead.